Lilia, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so we will talk about the last topic. We will talk about what Anne already mentioned. So a way to benefit from a tax credit for, let's say, digital investment. So tell us about this rather new law, not known by all of the members.
Maybe to set the scene a bit, because I'm pretty sure this audience is aware of this new tax credit because it's effective since 1st of January this year, has been voted December 23. But at the same time, it's still, let's say, pretty new on the market, how you can be eligible to the credit. And why? Because there is always this 12% credit that you can basically use to pay corporate income tax. So it's clearly CIT, it's not MBT. So this is for overall investments. No question, you invest, you can benefit from it for operational entities. Now, what the government and then the legislator try to do with this new law, it's clearly to say, I'm willing to give you more, which is not 12%, but 18% in this case. And I will not, let's say, also limit the basis of the credit only to investment, but also you can apply it as a taxpayer in Luxembourg on your expenses, which is pretty generous. And the credit can be obtained on the 3 financial years in a row. To the extent you would actively participate as a taxpayer to the modernization of the economy and in basically 2 main fields, which are green and digital. Most probably for treasurer, the focus would be on digital, obviously. But what does it mean in reality, to your point and your question? You may say, okay, I'm going to invest into a new ERP. I'm going to change my new version of, I don't know, one software. Exactly. No, it's not sufficient. Because what the government is really, or not government now, but
an upgrade or change is not sufficient.
Exactly. Because it speaks about a transformation project, which would result in those expenses and investment, and which is in the field either of green or digital, innovative and holistic. And so what is really also a bit great and at the same time can be limitative, this is these 2 adjectives, holistic and transformative and innovative, which can mean a lot of things, but not everything. So what the way we approach it at PwC, basically, and the way we help our clients, taxpayer, to file for the eligibility, and I will come to the different steps of the procedures, is to phase this in a way to say, okay, we can have an awareness session with you first, because we need to understand, based on your specific operating model, what are your current projects, so what is your project portfolio? And this would be clearly different from one enterprise to the other. Second, if you have, and as you said before, transformation now is not every 5 years, but this is something that is happening on a more daily basis, so to speak. So where are you in this agenda? Because it's very important, if I have a key message on the timing, I said 3 financial year, but which means that, and this is on the procedure, all expenses and investment that are, let's say, the basis for obtaining this credit are only to be taken into account once you have already filed the eligibility, your eligibility attestation file. So basically, there are 3 phases to be a bit more structured. First of all, you need to identify the project, explain what would be the benefit for the enterprise in terms of innovation, transformation, etc., and there are clear criteria, even if there is room for interpretation in the law. And then you need to explain already and to have a business plan clear that will put figures in front of it. So, and that would be the cap for the credits. So basically, the enterprise is supposed to already said that project would cost me in terms of investment and OPEX in the range of this amount. And that this is the amount that would be the maximum basis for the credit.
You can claim for getting this tax credit, although you have not yet signed the...
Yes, of course, and you should do it. Why? Because whatever expenses and investment done before you file this file to obtain the certificate is not to be taken into account.
So the earlier the better.
Exactly. So the quantitative analysis of what you want to put into your project, but also the timing of filing this request is very important, because imagine you have a project on your calendar and you say, I will only file in November. But basically, your financial year in this case is only 2 months. So it's very, very important also to see if you have this specific project, maybe you would defer to next gen, where you have the time to prepare to file your eligibility.
And as you say, it's not only the piece of software or hardware, it could be also the implementation or integration of the solution.
Yes, exactly. Because, and it's exactly the opposite. It's not the software itself. The software needs to be only one component of a bigger project. So if you completely change the way you would serve your customers, or if you completely change the way your workforce will work, even for treasurer, in this case, the change of software is one component and one expense or one investment of your full project. So it's very, very important not to work on a piece of, let's say, expense or investment, but try to put really a full project, innovative and transformative, as a package. And this is why we also work together, tax advisors with advisory expert in transformation. That's very important to understand. Because we tax people, we will not be able on a full value chain to explain this is transformative. Generally we can, but depending on the business model, we need experts to help us.
So it's good to have some advisors because, as you say, it's brand new. We need some benchmark, and we as corporate treasurers have some difficulties to assess if it's really innovative, if it's really transformative. And so I guess it's good to have your expertise to define, to detect what, and how to present it. I guess it's also a question of how you present the project.
Exactly. This is, let's say, more what you need in terms of steps, administrative steps, but what is more important, I think, to discuss this is exactly this, how you can look at all your projects and say, okay, I'm willing to spend that money, and I'm sure as a treasurer, you would also be super happy to make some cost savings. So if you can obtain that credit, this means also you can maybe implement more projects. So that's something very important to bear in mind. So you need to look at the specific project you are working on. So not only changing your ERP, as we've said, but okay, maybe creating a complete different platform in a way you operate. In that platform, you would integrate maybe a different way to organize your team. So there may be an HR piece of it. There may be a software piece of it. There may be the way you would, I don't know, at the end of the day, deliver the product you are producing basically, or the solution or services to your customers. And if you can show that this is part of this full cycle, your expense and investments, then you may be eligible to this 18% credit on the basis of investments or assets, and so CapEx and OpEx, which is very generous from the law. So,
but would it mean that if you are a Luxembourg-based treasury center, you can benefit and get, maybe because investment could be bigger, or if you are a European company, to locate the investment in Luxembourg to benefit from the tax credit?
So that's exactly it. So at the very beginning, the intention, I think, was really the modernization of the Luxembourg economy and was focusing on the existing Luxembourg taxpayers. But obviously, I would say this law is also showing the willingness of the current government and now legislator to also say, if you want to bring some investment for companies, exactly, you come with people, because the people in charge of leading the project needs to be based in Luxembourg. You come with people, you come with IDs, you develop the ID from Luxembourg, and whatever you would spend for it or you would invest for it, we would grant you the credit. So which is also a great incentive to attract new businesses.
Very good.
So
that's it.
That's it. I wanted to be
no, I don't know. I don't know if you have a question, but it's a brand new regulation. A lot of people have no idea. But I don't know if you have a question, or I see a question, Benjamin.
Yeah.
For the remaining part, so because you said that it's just for the future.
So that's a good question. If you have an ongoing project, it may be eligible, but you would reduce the portion that you can claim on it. Exactly. Because then you would need to combine the role of 3 financial years, your eligibility certification when you file for it, and plus be able really to show with your different expenses on the timeline what is pertaining to the pre-obtention, or not obtention, but pre-filing, post-filing. So it can limit in time your, let's say, advantage, but it does not mean you are eligible to 0 at the end because you already started.
Clearly, in your project, it could be something that could be considered because it's ongoing. This kind of project usually could be over a couple of years. So,
Exactly.
that's interesting.
And they can also exceed 3 years. And to this point, we understand they are not willing the authorities to extend the 3 years.
Yep.
Because obviously when it comes to investment, it's easy, you make it once. But when it comes to OPEX, and it means also that you have payroll costs, people working on it with some timesheet to track the time, and you can also consider this cost of people that is a basis for the credit. If they extend, it can never end. So.
But very interesting presentation. So I think it's a really interesting concept that could be used even for ongoing project. And we wanted to address that because it could be a way to easily to make it easier to sell the project to the management, because we know that the budget is an issue, and this kind of IT project or digital project are often more expensive than what you thought initially. So it could be certainly a good incentive. So if you have any question, Lilia will stay with us, and so do not hesitate to come and talk with her or with Anne and the team, and to ask. Am I eligible for getting this credit, and to get some pieces of advice? Thanks a lot, Lilia.
No problem. Thank you.